First of all, welcome aboard. This is a pretty new format board meeting, I reckon. I figure that we can get through things in about 90 minutes, so let's get started. Just to let you know that for the most part, I am expecting that we'll have non-board members joining us, which I think is awesome. I do really, really want to focus on getting the word out this year about our activities, just how we're doing things, and just keep it super clean. So by all means, I think it's great that we have this sort of wider set now for the board meetings. That said, I do appreciate if we do limit comments to chat and Q&A and comments at the end. Especially whilst we go through the reports, that would be great. I'm going to be more than happy to field questions via chat. I'm just, don't want to encourage the practice of people just jumping in and saying things, if you don't mind. So let's go to the agenda. So first up, we're going to be just having a quick chat about some of the things that we've kicked off the new year with. Then I'm going to go through the board reports. Each of us on the board is going to give a short and sweet, less than 5-minute report on what activities they've been focusing on, priority projects they've been focusing on this year. Then we have a little bit of new business. Some of these might become motions, some of them are just heads up. And then a quick overview of the events at Island Yacht Club. And then after that, any free time we have, we'll be opening up the floor to answer questions, get comments from people on this call. So that's it. Let's do it, guys. Anything that anyone wants to say before we go headlong into this? All right, let's go. All right. So first of all, I just want to say welcome. Oh my God. So thank you, first of all, in my absence, to all of you for making some amazing events happen. Literally zero days into the year as such, we've been able to, first of all, just kick off with this Round the Island cruise. I do want to say a really, really big thank you to Eric. Eric was just superb, absolutely superb in the way that he communicated the Round the Island cruise with all of us here. The other thing to mention is that he did really pick up the slack on my behalf with the inter-club communication. We had a number of clubs involved. I'm sure a few of you got to experience Aeolian Yacht Club. This is cool. I haven't actually been to Aeolian yet, but they've been so welcoming. They've really just wanted to have our members come and celebrate with them, especially now as hopefully beginning of the year, things eased up a little. Hopefully they won't go downhill again. Fingers crossed. A lot of our events are really pending the health situation that's happening around the world right now. But I'm really glad that we were able to squeeze this one out together. And overall, Eric, do you want to just say a few words about how many boats turned up and some of the feedback you received?
Sure. Yeah, so I think the total count was about 20. We had 13 registered, so I think just based on the emails, a few extra people came along. The first outbound flotilla had 13 that I counted. Myself and Christina were on 2 separate boats. Lloyd was out on his boat in the first flotilla, and a bunch of other folks I didn't know, but we parked over by the Park Street Bridge for about a half hour waiting for everybody to gather, and then it's kind of fun. The first time I ever hailed on the Channel 9 to call each one of the bridges and have them open, and they were super accommodating as I'm fumbling my way through the radio, but the bridges cracked open and we kept relatively close. It was difficult because of there's a lot of debris. We had heavy rain a couple of days before, and just logs and debris all over the place. But everybody kept together and we all got over to Aeolian. Aeolian was super, super accommodating, getting everybody in and parking everybody. Nice setup, super nice deck that they had and food, and everybody I think had a good time. That's what I did. I was freaked out about parking in there, but they made it super easy. It was just like a mountain of people came out and kind of stuck your boat where it needed to be.
Yeah, I think there was one thing that it was probably a little bit difficult to accommodate for, how much actual blacktopping traffic there would be for around the island. I know that there was a big contingent on the water, but also a contingent on the land too. It sounds like you bumped into a few people that way.
Oh yeah, and the Aeolian was packed when we were there. We were one of the first boats in the first flotilla to come out, and it quickly filled up. I wouldn't say packed. Everybody was really well behaved. Most people were in their masks, the whole social distancing thing. But they had a nice spread on food and very welcoming, and they were selling some nice shirts, around the island shirt for 2022.
Yeah. And also,
And
I've got to
our
give us
logo on it, so we're actually
awesome. I've also got to do a quick shout out to the IYC fashion here on the left. I don't know how this became so Burning Man with Will wearing his fuzzy thing, but you know, I like where this is going. So thank you, Eric. All right, so look, apart from that, oh my gosh, we've also had Island Days Racing and also the local weather on the bay presentation. Just wondering, yeah, Christina, do you want to say a few words about Island Days? And then Melissa, if you could say a few things about local weather on the bay, that would be amazing. Oh, sorry, Christina.
It was like,
didn't mean to catch you out there.
I spaced out for like 2 seconds. I was like, oh no.
Oh God, I'm keeping you on your toes on this one.
Yeah, no, it's good. Island Days. Yeah. So we have Island Days. We had our first race. Lloyd, our amazing race committee chair, did an awesome job. We had tons of very excited volunteers, and it was just good fun all around. A short race on a light wind day. It was cool seeing Island Girl 2, Shelly, like sailing around as well. That was super fun. And yeah, we have our next race a month from now, basically. And so we're excited to get more of the new race committee folks kind of trained up and shifting into different positions so that everyone by the end kind of knows a bit of everything. And so Jill was there, and Monique was there on a boat racing, and yeah, we just had a good crew, and it was really fun. So thank you to everyone involved for making it super successful.
Thank
Who
you.
do you
And
have on race
congratulations.
committee, Christina?
Who?
I heard there were like 12 people on the dock.
It was several new people who I didn't know. My neighbor Michelle was there, Jill was there, Lloyd obviously was like running the show, Tom was there for a bit, Esther, of course, we can't run a race without Esther.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of who else. I'm totally spacing on a bunch of names, so
Cool.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't know everyone's names, but several new people and some really cool. Thank you. There were some new members actually, which was really cool. And I think, you know, a lot of folks stuck around and went to Boathouse Tavern. Eric did a great job announcing results because I didn't want to, because there were no more racers left, basically. and I was feeling lazy. And but yeah, it was a fun time was had by all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. And congratulations. I mean, seriously, first race as Rear Commodore, just totally killing it. So thank you so much. All right. So Melissa, gosh, we have just come off a bit of a high ourselves.
Right
Tell us a
on.
little bit about local weather. This is awesome.
So we just had this really great event last night that Eric once again really busted his chops in order to make happen with Rick, who was not as tech savvy as Eric, and Eric was really able to pull him along. And now Rick is even thinking of becoming a member. So that's really awesome. He really enjoyed it last night. I spoke to him today, and he was riding the wave. And it'll be great to do another event with him down the line. But we had about maybe 27 people signed up maybe 3 weeks ago, which by the time we went yesterday, it was 65 people. We had 65 people signed up for this second of our weather series. And that is so fantastic. And maybe a handful of them were just a one-time, you know, it's $25 one time, $30 for members and $70 for non-members. And so it was extremely amazing. Sherry put together, Ross did a campaign about 10 days ago, and then Sherry did another one about 5 days ago, and we just kept beating on people. And we got people signed up, I think maybe until, 3 minutes to 7 yesterday. So Rick spoke for about 45, 50 minutes, I guess. And then the questions were fast and furious. Ross was up at 7 in the morning, right, Ross? Was it 7 in the morning?
Oh my God. No, actually, thankfully, it's lunchtime here. So,
Oh, okay, that's
so
what I
it's very
thought, but
much,
Eric was like, it's the
yeah.
middle of the night, so I was kind of
Oh,
compromising in the middle there.
I think he was being very sympathetic to my schedule.
I thought this
But
was
no,
your
that was
right time.
terrific.
Mhm. Right,
No, this is
okay.
totally great.
Well,
Yeah.
Ross was amazing. She opened it. She helped channel questions, and you know, the whole thing worked very, very well. Rick had a really clean presentation, and Alice told a couple of stories, and so on to number 3, which is going to be with Cami, and it's going to be February 7, and we'll start our marketing again. And I'm kind of hoping that some of you who haven't been as involved in marketing before might have some more ideas of some social media areas that we can post our flyers on, that maybe if you're members of other clubs, we can get our flyers to you and you can get them to your members. You know, this is a great opportunity for us to get it out to even more places. So
Yeah.
please help us with that. You can just send, you know, email addresses or your ideas to info@iyc.org, or let Ross know or let me know, and let's make our list longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Melissa. That was awesome and well done. Like seriously, well done. Especially wrangling people across multiple time zones. And
yeah, we had people from, I think, the Northeast and, you know,
we
Maine
did.
or somewhere come in.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so just to let you know, people, you might have seen, I followed up with one gentleman. He actually purchased a ticket after the event. And I wrote back to him and I said, are you sure? And he said, because I had just forgotten to turn off the, you know, the ordering, right, system.
Mhm.
And no, he was like, no, I just want the recording. So
Uh-huh.
sweet. And just to let you know, I saw the question chat about the recording. I will be sharing it later today. I'm just getting that group of orders together, everyone who signed up for last night. So once I have that list, then I'll be able to share it with you. The recording's
Perfect.
there, survey's ready. So
Good.
you'll get that in the next 2 hours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ross.
Right. No worries. Yeah, I wanted to do it last night, but home internet wasn't very good here. So anyway, all right. So let's keep going. I think the one thing we have to do before we move on to the board reports actually is to approve the minutes from December. That was actually our board meeting / handover meeting as well. Forgive me if I don't get any of the wording right here. First time Commodore, what can I say? But I think I have to make a motion to approve the meetings minutes from December.
Somebody else should make a motion.
Okay.
Mhm.
Suppose we approve the board meeting minutes from
Mhm.
December 12th. What was it?
And I'll second it.
Thank you, Eric and Melissa. All right. And then, okay, after that, do we say everyone who approves, say aye?
Yes.
We should do reactions to this actually. Isn't that great? No, that looks like quorum to me. So, all right. So awesome. Let's move on to the next, which is the board reports here. And because David is the one who's up the latest, I'd love for him to kick off with the treasurer's report. And whilst he's at it, I'm actually going to share his Google Doc so that you guys can all see the great report that he put together. So can you see the treasurer's report now? There we go. That's a memo from January 6, 2022. All right, David, do you want to say a few words about our cash flow between 2021 and 2022? Oh, David, you're on mute. Oh, there we go. Just asking you to unmute there. All right. I'm thinking I'm going to maybe move on to the next one. Oh, no, here he is. David, how you doing? Oh, getting there. If we don't hear from David in the next 30 seconds, we might move on to the next item and then have David loop back. So, oh, no, wait. He unmuted and then muted. Oh, no. Hold on a sec. All right.
I think he's in the same situation as I am. David, you unmute in the Zoom app, not your phone. tap the screen on the Zoom app, it'll open up the option to unmute.
Thanks, Eric. Oh. All right. What do you think? So, oh, I just saw him unmute on his second instance here. David, can you hear us now? Oh, can't hear you yet. All right. Whilst David is working on that, how about we go back and do the next report? And then David, as soon as you're ready, just give us a yell and we'll move on to you as the next item. All right, so just back into it. So Staff Commodore's report. Melissa, how are you doing? Back to you.
I'm fine, and we've kind of already done this, but
Yeah, we have.
I know we want to talk about Cami. So with February and COVID, and are we thinking that we might Zoom this rather than go live with this?
Yeah, Melissa, so I'd love to talk to you about that. I know that initially we were really enthusiastic to have a sort of in-person / hybrid with a webinar for Cami's Tide and Currents. And just to give a little bit of background for people here, Cami Richards has previously done the Tide and Currents talk at Oakland Yacht Club. He's also done the talk over at the Bay Model over in Sausalito. It's a really, really great session, you know, in which he is able, sorry, just quickly, Eric, I'm wondering if you can work with David, maybe text him or give him a call just to see if we can get him unmuted.
I'm driving, so.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, I'm just wondering,
yeah,
is there somebody?
In the app itself, if it's on the phone app, in the bottom left corner where it touches the screen, there's a mute and unmute button. And I bet you that's it.
He's not muted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Shelly, if she can call him, maybe she can put him on speaker.
Yeah. Shells, thank you so much. Yeah, so look, you know, Jill mentioned here that she's attended Cami's session. It's awesome. It's a really, really great session that he does. So we were hoping to do, again, hybrid, because that's kind of where he thrives. It does sound like, you know, unfortunately, Omicron has kind of thrown a damper on the mood. I'm more than happy to go back to being strictly virtual until this all blows over. I think that's really the wise thing to do. Yeah, Christine, I can see you're agreeing with that one too. So, you know,
we need to get our stuff out, you know, our marketing stuff out about it probably by next Monday. So, so I guess we have a couple more days to make that decision, but I think I'm probably leaning towards having another Zoom.
Yeah, that would be awesome, actually. So I'm happy to support you in that one. I think the main thing.
We can't beat that, right? You know, I mean,
what did you say, Eric?
In person. I think with 65 attendees or 65 signups, that's pretty darn good, right?
Right, excellent. The most excellent.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just stick it out with virtual for this one.
Yeah,
that kind of turnout, what the heck?
Right. Yeah, I think we probably have about 60 people that have signed up now for all 4 sessions. So amazing.
Oh, no, I got it now.
David. Great.
I'm here.
Hi. Give us 1 second. So, Melissa, should we just take it offline in regards to Cami's talk? Great. Well, that's Feb 7. No problem. We can just make it happen online. We've got the formula now. So thank you very much. All right. So I'm just going to flick back to David's report. Here we go.
I'm here.
All right. It's your turn. Thanks, David. Welcome back.
Well, thank you very much. Hey, look, you guys, the membership drive, all the events, all the programs just made my job easy. I mean, it really is. I mean, I swear to God, I mean, all I'm doing is just counting the beans, but I mean, the club is a much better financial situation we were 12 months ago. And it's only going to improve. I'm doing everything I can to cautiously increase the position of the club with wise investments and wise management of finances. I think everybody understands that I watch literally every penny that goes out. And Melissa and I have been diligent as far as in the past year, as far as how we're going to invest the funds and also make sure that everybody understands where we are. And Ross and I have had that same conversation. So like I said, guys, we're doing well. And I'm really honored to be able to contribute to the level I am. And I'd like to hope that we could double where we are in the next 12 months. I can't promise it, but I think the track record is there, and the membership is growing. We have a lot of spirited, really intelligent people running the club and want to contribute. We've got Ross, we've got Eric, we've got Shelley. Melissa is helping me kind of from in the past. I just think we just have nothing but blue sky and great winds in front of us.
Ross, you have to
That's
write an
perfect.
article for Latitude 38 about getting rid of that 8 bells article about us a year ago.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, really, the little club that could. I mean, look, we've come a long way. I think a lot of people is writing us off, Ross. And we dug our heels in. We changed the due structure. We had a lot of people step up to say, "Hey, look, we got some good programs, and you need to be a part of the club." A good example is Shelley. I mean, Shelley and Monique, and we've just got some, and Eric. We've just really got some good, talented people that I think are really going to make this club going into the next umpteen years. I mean, I'm really serious about that. This is a very, very. The club is proud of our heritage. We're a sailing club. We like to sail hard and party hard, and I will always be. This club should survive, and I'm going to do everything I can to see that happen.
Thank you so much, David. Oh
Spoken
my goodness.
by the guy that was burning holes in the dance floor.
No, wait a minute. That was Monique, not me.
God, I wish I
The
was there for
dancing
that.
girl. With the tiger outfit. Don't blame me.
That's true. I got to tell you, I saw the pics of the tiger onesie, and I'm thinking it's hard to beat that. But David, if there's anyone out there who's got the spirit, it's you.
No, I love you guys. And I love this club. And I tell you, we have the heritage. And I think the next challenge really is, how can we leverage what we have to kind of find a permanent location? And actually, Eric and I had lunch over with Maribel on that Sunday, Eric, and I think we can leverage where we are and kind of put ourselves in position to be have a permanent location, well financed, well funded, and on a very stable course here. I'm going to do everything I can to see that happens.
Thank you so much, David. And seriously, you've been, oh my God. I mean, seriously, there's one person and one person only who can do this job as well as you do. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. I love you all, and thank you for the opportunity to keep serving you.
Love you too, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So let's go to the next. Whoops, I'm sorry. Not that just yet. Oh yeah, here we go. So Eric, I know we spoke a little bit about crab feed. Do you want to fill in everybody on what the thinking is around the crab feed this year? Again, Omicron pending.
Okay, so I've still been doing homework even with the situation with Omicron kind of going crazy. Luckily in the Bay Area, the numbers aren't out of control as bad as they are elsewhere, but we still have to be sensitive to it and cognizant of it. During the Round the Island event, I went and talked to Chris, who's the Commodore over at Aeolian Yacht Club. Their space would be absolutely perfect for it. They have a beautiful, large outdoor patio. And just the way the club's laid out, it would be great. It'd be fantastic. You know, a nice outdoor space and indoor space.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're not supportive of doing it. So that was out. But the second stop around the island was Ballena Bay Yacht Club. Mm-hmm. And Dave was sitting there at the table with I think it was past Commodore. But his wife, Rosabella, is the social chair. And her and I talked, and we traded emails back and forth. They're interested in supporting us and doing the event if we decide to do so. They'd want to do a 50-50 split, which I'm I don't know how I feel about that, which means that we're going to do all the work, and basically we split half the revenue with them. I'm going to continue to do some more footwork. I reached out to Masonic Hall in town off Park Street. They have a venue that'll seat at least 200 people, and I'm going to see what they charge. And based on that may be what I go back to Ballena Bay with. if that's the avenue that we go. If anybody knows of a potential venue or space that maybe might work, let me know. Please pass it along. We're not really actively going to move forward with putting the crab feed together until really steps around Omicron in the next week or so. We get a good, clear feeling of what's going to go on, because it'd be just a waste of time to start really putting the wheels in motion, start committing to things, and then have this go all sideways. But
Hey,
if you find out several different.
Hey, Eric, you and I talked about this at some length as well. So what is your feeling as far as the restrictions that COVID-19 is going to present, or the Omicron? Because I know we were concerned about going forward, whether or not it would be practical to even try to get that many people in one spot, just before even finding a venue. What are your thoughts as far as what kind of window you think we might have, or opportunity?
So if we were, it really depends. The key indicators that I look at right now, the number of cases for just COVID at large are absolutely off the charts. They're
Oh
double,
yeah,
if not
same
triple
on
what
the
it
East
was
Coast.
same
Same
time
on the East
last
Coast.
year. Yes, they're not good at all. But the one promising aspect of it, and it's a lagging indicator, which means it follows by a couple of weeks, if not more than that, is the death rate. It's really morbid thought, but it's the death rate that really tells the story. If people are dying from it, it means that we have to be especially careful and sensitive. If the death rate holds like it has, then this wave should subside, and we'll kind of be like we were just prior a few weeks ago. So maybe there's less sensitivity around it, but I'm very hesitant to even start pumping it with our members, just simply because it make us look really irresponsible. But having said that, I'm doing a bunch of work behind the scenes. I found a couple different vendors for crab. You can buy crab, ready to go live crab at like $9 a pound. Clean crab, which means it's ready basically to serve, at $11 a pound.
Okay.
Previous history shows that based on the number of members we've had and the amount of crab that we bought, we were buying about 2.5 pounds of crab per person. That's before it's cooked and cleaned and everything else. You pay for it just as a whole crab. So that kind of gives us an idea. I think if we are going to go forward with the crab feed, we do need to look at bumping the price, not significantly, but a little bit, at $60 per person instead of the $55 we were charging before. It looks like in 2019, which was our largest crab feed from the data I could get my hands on, we had 130 members in attendance. 2018, we had 101. But I think based on the way things are going with our group and just the kind of the group energy, I think we'd be well over 150.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Based on what we've seen at some of the other events and just the number of people I know that we can pull in from outside. But my feeling, in my opinion right now, is originally I wanted to say, let's look around Valentine's Day to do a crab feed. But I think really we should sit on our hands a little bit longer and maybe look at beginning of March.
Yeah.
So sounds like a good idea. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
There's a few parts of it that we do still have to figure out. Part of that is the food preparation piece of it, and Linda's going to kind of help me with some of that. If we can buy food prepared in a commercial kitchen, we can literally bring it anywhere and serve it, and it's no problem. But if we have to prepare food, like we have to make salads or whatever it is, would be considered preparing the food, Ballena Bay is going to be a problem. Because their kitchen is not permitted to offer.
Yeah, everything's going to have to be brought in if we do it there. That's right.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Or ready to go before we go there. But that's where like Linda would help us. We can use her kitchen to do the initial prep and those type of things. So, and then my plan was once we make a determination, and maybe this is the time where we make the determination as a board, what we're going to do is to engage Tom and then look at the Sea Scouts and all that other aspects.
Yeah, Ross, the advantage we have, if Ballena Bay does have the occupancy permit, that we can they can handle the group our size. And as Eric pointed out, there was discussion, maybe the revenue sharing, but, I think, Eric, there's still a lot of pieces that need to be put in place. And I think if we could pull it off and maybe reach out to them and say, look, we really just want to rent a club or whatever. Maybe you could get some bar revenue, whatever, but I mean, I think there's still an opportunity, and certainly it has the venue, and they got the occupancy permit for us to be able to have that size group.
Oh, really? So that
Oh,
was
and
a, yeah.
I couldn't agree with you anymore, David. And I think even if we don't potentially do the crab feed there, based on how it lays out, even if we don't do the crab feed there, we should definitely consider doing an event. Remember, I want to have at least once a quarter something. that we do
Oh
in
yeah,
person,
no question,
kinda like
no
we
question.
change watch. So
And Ross,
without a doubt, we're going to engage the club.
right.
Yep.
And there's some initiatives I think we can talk about that regard
Offline.
their needs and versus what I think we can kind of lay out a plan for. Hey, there's got to be a two-way street here.
Yep.
They need help, but we want space. We want to have our own location, our own venue, and we want our membership to be intact.
Eric, have you talked to Cindy or Ward about working
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Ballena
yeah.
Bay?
Yeah.
I totally think you need to keep them in the conversation.
No question about it, Melissa, no question. And I tell you, Ward, I mean, it's a horror story. It's a horror story. At that
It is a
point.
horror story there, right?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
So we really do need to make sure we're working with the right people at
I
Ballena Bay,
agree.
because
And
there
I-
are the wrong people at Ballena Bay as well.
And I think Ward is one of those guys. I
He
really
is
do.
totally on the right side. He
Yeah,
is.
and fortunately, he's friendly with us. I sat across from he and Cindy at the COW. I
Right.
know his heart's in the right place, and Cindy, of course, is a long time.
Well, they met
legacy
at
member.
IYC. It's
Yeah,
because
a
of
long-time
IYC that
legacy
they
member.
met. So Cindy will never, give up her membership with us.
She's a legacy member. She's her heart's in the right place. She's always been that way.
So please, let's just make sure we talk to the right people there.
Melissa,
Great.
I agree with you 1,000,000,000%.
Great. Thank you. Quick comment from Jill. So David, do you know the occupancy of Ballena Bay, keeping in mind that they do have these restrictions in place?
Yeah, last Eric,
150 indoor.
it's indoors like 150
It's 150.
and out, but they can go outside. It came up to total 196.
All right.
Yeah, and actually,
That's pretty great. Yeah.
but I talked with Linda, and she says outdoor is pretty much unlimited.
Yeah.
So, and she's got a guy that does events and can rent some of these large tents. So the other option is potentially boathouse. We could gut their parking lot and just put a giant tent there and pack some house. So, I mean, we have a lot of different options. We just really have to think about, are we going to do it? I mean, are we going to do it soon?
Yeah, true.
The only difficulty there, Eric, would be the parking, where you've got plenty of parking with Ballena Bay. And I mean, they've really done a really nice job with redecorating, decorating the club. They've got the space, they've got the multi-rooms. I mean, I think that should still be in the mix, as you and I talked about that one Sunday.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, the place is great. It looks like it's got a whole nightclub theme to it.
Yeah, okay.
Doing a great job on it.
So look, I know
But
that
I guess
it
the
was
question
mentioned.
flies with
I'm sorry, Eric?
No, I was just going to throw out there. So the question is for the board is, what is everybody's opinion? I mean, does anybody have any thoughts? My thinking is realistically, we got to push back to March.
Yeah, I would like to say that why don't we revisit this at the end of the month? I think we still need a few weeks for this to shake out. And as you say, we can push it out till March. It's not, the crab season isn't going to close tomorrow. So how about I put something in the diary that we have a chat about this. We start a thread, end of this month. And then if everyone is still feeling like the case numbers are going up, as you say, Eric, it's a pretty serious situation in some places, then we can just put another milestone in there and just check in again.
Yeah, I think so. And the other option is I don't know how anybody knows how it panned out, but Treasure Island did a kind of drive-through crab feed, call it, where they
I heard about something like that. Yeah.
And people came and does anybody know how that panned out?
No, but I do have contacts at Treasure Island. I can follow that up.
Part of me thinks that's kind of completely
Is that better?
misdirects what we were hoping to do. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's something else to think about.
that is something. I mean, I really do want to have the social element. You know, but as you can see, we're in a pretty good position right now. Not to say that we don't want to boost the coffers even more, but it wouldn't be the same crab feed unless we were together, to be honest with you,
I agree.
for all the effort that we put into it.
Yep. It's an IYC crab feed and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So are we happy to move on to Christina's slot on racing? Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Hi, Christina. How you doing?
Good.
Great.
Uh,
So I know that you covered Island Days already early on. Do you want to jump it straight into the racing schedule? We've got about 24 races. Okay, let's do it. So we have a calendar. Talk us through what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, Lloyd actually pulled this together. So Lloyd, as usual, is totally an all-star and doing all the things. But yeah, we have these awesome races on calendar. They're on the WARI calendar. I know we need to talk. I think Nathan sent an email around. We need to talk about some logistics for the longer this double-handed light ship race scheduled for April 2nd, because it's a little bit more involved in terms of prep work. So don't worry, we won't do that at this meeting, but that's on my list of things to follow up on. But yeah, we have our usual kind of the Island Days, and in the summer, the Friday night series, and then we have a few special races that you guys are all familiar with, more so than me, in fact. I mean, that's the race schedule. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to be looking for race committee folks for all of these races. And I think Roz and Lloyd, you can tell me, but I think if folks are interested, we can direct them to like sending an email to racing at IYC.
Yep.
And then from there, we can get them on our list and we can put them in the rotation and make sure they know where to go for each of the races, and they can get trained up. And I think Lloyd was going to, I think there's a training for race committee that St. Francis Yacht Club is doing that he's going to send around, so that folks who are interested can sign up for that and get, like, you know, extra super fancy training. Like additional training, not just kind of on the actual races for us. So that might be a nice opportunity. And then, I mean, I think I'm interested in what other folks on this call and other members might be interested in doing in terms of, you know, doing like some race clinics or things like that. That might be kind of cool. You know, like we, you know, in the Zoom format, we could definitely do kind of like a racing rule thing. And I know a few people, like Bads has done a few of those, that you know, I'm sure we all have like good folks that we could tap into for that. But even doing kind of like a weekend, just like race clinic, even with somebody, that might be really fun, like a couple days of practice racing. That might be really cool. So anyway, those are kind of a couple of things I'm thinking about, but this is basically our race calendar. I hope you all can join us for all of these races. And
hey, Christina, this is very helpful. You know, we actually get revenue sharing off the Jive group for inter-club races.
Oh, great.
I'm wondering if it's possible for us to kind of have maybe a bifurcation in a way where we have the club races, but also the inter-club races where we get revenues from them. We get actually checks from them for our groups that actually enter those races, like the Three Bridge Fiasco and some of the other races. Do you think it might be possible to us to have maybe kind of a combined calendar, or at least some kind of way to say, look, if you participate in these races, we still make money with you signing up. And it also gives us a chance to kind of reach out, and members to kind of get to know other club members, let us know who we are. Is it possible we could maybe come up with that kind of a calendar where hey, look, we're a racing club and we know where the races are. Is that possible?
Yeah. No, that's an awesome idea. I love it. And yeah, the more we can kind of do with other clubs, I think that's the way we should do it. So yeah, I can work on putting together exactly like a calendar that includes kind of inter-club races, or, you know, other.
Right. No, Jill, yes, we get revenue from both the club races and also for inter-club races, to answer your question. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and so the more participants, the better off we are, and we give more people on the water, and that's really what it boils down to. And but if we can kind of have a schedule that, hey, look, join us, and you know, we'll get you out there one way or the other. You know, we got the small boat program. Shelley, bless her heart, just was the very first entry sign up for the small boat program. I hope they'll be able to support itself, and maybe we try to promote that even a little bit more. And yeah, Captain, where's your tiger outfit? Anyway, the bottom line is, if we can kind of get maybe a kind of an inclusive schedule. Hey, look, IYC events, and then maybe intra-club events. That's just a suggestion.
No, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I like it. Awesome idea.
That's a great idea. And also, I'm going to volunteer Nathan to help if you need a hand with interpreting the calendar, but you also have Lloyd as well. Actually, you know what, Lloyd? Seeing as you're here, do you want to say a quick word about your training? Because I did the US Sailing Race Committee training last year. I loved it. I'd love to hear a bit more of it about it from you. Oh, sorry, Lloyd, you're on mute right now. Oh, there we go. Now you're off mute.
All right.
Hi.
So first I have to apologize. I was under the weather on Sunday and I don't remember very much about what happened. But we had a lot of really good volunteers. Everybody did an excellent job except me. And I see our race committee really starting to fine tune our racing program, because there is some room for improvement on how we do it and the courses we use and how we utilize the water we have. And Jibe said, of course, helps. And Esther really was the boss, not me, which is good, better that way. I think that from what I observe, we ought to have some practice race days. And the biggest emphasis should be not drifting for hours, but a whole bunch of starts, 5 starts, 10 starts. Just get everybody excited. Because I mean, I've done that before. We've done other fleets, and it really, really tunes things up. We have 25 boats signed up for the winter series. I think 42 during the whole year. And we got room for 60. It's just a matter of how to handle it. And
Yeah.
it'd be a lot more fun out there on that estuary when you have to dodge other boats and such. You got to actually use the racing rules. I'll work on that. And I wasn't aware of, maybe I was and I forgot, or being involved in the inner club. I did inner club for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I did it from Bayview. I have things to learn yet. Okay. As far as official training goes, we can do everything that St. Francis does. It's just that they have some really nice toys to use. And that's one of the reasons why I spent 35 days over there last year playing with their toys.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many I'll spend this year. There's only 2 days on our racing calendar that conflict with what I normally do at St. Francis. And I talked on Sunday, because there were some people from St. Francis at our race.
Yep.
And they told me that probably this program is full. No, there's probably no more open spots. I think maybe Jill, did you get in?
Great. Jill made it. Perfect.
Okay, so that's great. So
Yeah.
Jill will be a scout for us, and she'll come back and tell you guys how it works. I'll bug them a little bit, because if they last year they didn't even fill the program up. If they filled it up already this year, I'll bug them about doing it again. It's usually kind of best to do it in the spring and in the fall, because the summer gets so busy and it's kind of weathery.
Mm-hmm.
And they run about 160, 165 races every year, days of racing over there. So they also have to work out a time when there's all the equipment's not being used for regattas or something. But I'll work with my friends over there, and we'll get more people over there. And there's ways to get involved over there without taking these classes, because they train really well. Every day they train. That's what I'm going to be doing during this series right now. One of the things you might want to know is most of the training and a lot of the race committee is done by women, not men.
Mhm.
And more than half of the race committee volunteers, about 600 people, are not members of St. Francis Yacht Club.
Mm.
I'm not a member. They offered me a deal. I could become a Corinthian member for only $400 a month.
Ooh la la.
Wow. That
I
sounds
turned
You
it
said
down.
no?
I'm holding out for a better deal.
Yep. Yep. I gotta tell
I
you, the
don't
drinks
know.
are good there, but not that good.
I don't have a lot to say. This is day 3 of my booster shot, and I'm feeling a hell of a lot better, but not all the way there yet.
Mm.
Yeah.
We'll just be working on it, and I'll try to be communicative.
Yes.
All right, and Nathan's going to be back someday, and then he and I'll sit down and kind of pass the baton. All right,
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Lloyd. I appreciate it.
go good.
And I've got an idea attached to that. If it looks like we get a few people interested, I'm one of them, that would like to go over, maybe we could do enough people. These are typically a single day, Lloyd?
Oh, sorry, Lloyd, you're back on mute.
Sorry, let me quick. Well, just as an idea to
I'm
throw
new
out
at
there,
this.
maybe we could.
Yeah, are you good?
No,
Are they
Eric,
normally
your voice echoes or something, and I'm having a hard time understanding it.
Sorry. Are these training sessions they do? Are they one day?
Jill in the chat.
Every year it's been different. This year it's 3 days, 3 Saturdays. Cool thing is
Okay.
on the 4th Saturday, they have a big party for all of us, and it's all free food and booze. So that's the only reason to do it right there. But
I
yeah,
like it. Well, then maybe if we get a contingent of people that are interested in going, we can caravan or something like that, or ride over together.
but you know what? I will send out an email because we really had some great volunteers on Sunday. And I will include the link on how you don't have to take these training sessions, but you can go to the race committee events if you volunteer over there one day. And that one day could be just checking people's tickets. They don't have to even be on the water. They, like Big Boat Series, they have about 120 volunteers there. And not everybody's like me who does it all the damn time. There's a lot of people just do one day a year. So I'll hook you up. All right. I'm out of here.
Great. Thank you, Lloyd. Appreciate it. All right, so let's keep moving. Let's see. Thank you very much for the racing schedule. Ma'am Alice, do you have a moment to, sorry, I left my note in here, Ross, to help with talking points. Sorry.
That's okay.
This totally hasn't been done by me at all, right?
That's all right. I got it down here.
You got it.
So,
you got it.
Yeah. So I'll take a break from my writing for a minute and just report on membership renewal drive going on. We have 110 member households in good standing out of 170 from the year ending December 31st, 2021, which is about 65%. We have 71 lapsed members, and sometime next week, we're going to start reaching out via email and phone. The membership cards and letters are delayed. Ross is enjoying her time in Australia until she can get back here whenever they let her go. Maybe late January, early February. And at that point, Ross is going to hand over the printer and train Shelley, who's the membership chair, on how to take care of all of that. So it's going forward. And like you or Melissa mentioned, I think it was Melissa that said that Rick Whiting is considering becoming a member. So is Martin Spiesman, who's going to be talking in March, because he really likes the feel of the club, the people. And I got a chance to talk to him yesterday, And so I'm excited that they're both thinking about joining. So, and it's
Oh.
all because of the webinar.
That's awesome. Seriously, it is so valuable. Thank you so much, Alice. That's awesome. And sorry to have such insane minutes. I'm sure you're just typing like a frenzy right now, but
Oh, I'm writing. I write with a pen.
good on you. No, seriously, that's great. Thank you very, very much. So, look, I'll back that up. Really, unfortunately, a lot of things I can't do without being in person. I do have an actual membership card printer at my house. I also have a stack of renewal letters, like the ones that say, hey, welcome aboard, thanks for joining or renewing this year. I ordered those just before I left, and they're currently sitting at the Office Max in South Shore, ready to go. What I would love to do is a combination of training as far as how do memberships work, you know, what the entire process is. Shells, it's not rocket science, trust me, which is, you know, I don't want to scare you off that appointment, but you know, I'm just hoping that we can have an afternoon where it's you, Shells, and Alice. We can just all get together, and I can show you all these different moving parts. So, looking
sure,
forward to
for
that,
sure.
but it'll have to be in person.
It's fine. I think,
Yeah.
as long as somebody's like, can maybe respond to the emails or to the membership, you know, to new
Yep.
members to say, hey, we're just in a bit of a, you know, delay.
Yep,
And even if you guys want me to do that, I can do that. So, but
that's great.
because I know that a lot of you guys see the new membership and I'm not part of that email, and that's fine. But if somebody wants to
Mhm.
pass that on to me, I can certainly help.
Yeah. So, Shells, Jill, thank you, actually, both of you.
Yeah.
I 100% agree that we should communicate to members that there has been that delay. I also, Jill, I'll also have you at our working bee, because the more hands we can get across this, the better. So far, I think I've counted, we have about 170 envelopes of stuff, or at least 170 like individual cards that we have to stick in envelopes and
That's
match
great.
up, and it's
I can
great.
also-
It's really
I can
great.
also do
You
a
know?
pickup from if you need me to pick up from the office,
Yeah.
map, just let me know. We can talk about it offline. So
Great. Okay, but that sounds like we've got you, Shells, Jill, Alice, and myself.
Yeah.
As soon as I have a date in the calendar, let's do it. And Jill, folding machine. Oh my God. Yeah. Yes, please. Thank you. I mean, seriously, the more we can
Jill.
automate this. But you'll be glad to know it's like pretty much a pre-printed letter. It's basically like, dear person's name. We have
Yeah.
already pre-printed envelopes that have the IYC logo and return address, and it's got a little window where you can see the person's address. So I've tried to minimize the handwriting, in part because, unlike Alice, I can't write for shit. I actually voice dictate most things these days because it's really gotten that bad. But you know, I really appreciate all the help I can get. I thank you. All right, so I think we can move on. Unfortunately, Tom seems to be still struggling. Go on.
Just one question is,
Yeah.
did anybody check the mailbox, see for checks in there? Renewal checks, in other words?
Russ, did you freeze?
Hold on, sorry guys. I think my internet is starting to get a bit flaky here. Oh, can
And
you
that
guys
might
hear
be
me?
too. I'm going over the grapevine.
Okay, right. Sorry, could you just repeat the last 20 seconds?
No, I was just wondering if anybody has checked the mailbox.
No, so the mailbox key is in our car, which is in Alameda Marina. So I might actually get someone to do a retrieval mission. And the car key is at my house. So we can actually go through that offline if you want to. You are actually, Shelley, if you're mobile, I might get you to break into my Subaru. Yeah, and just see if there's any checks, because I have a feeling there will be a few checks actually in the mailbox.
Okay. Yeah. No, we can do whatever you need.
Great. I'll send you a note on how to do that. It's you already know how to break into my house, so the Subaru should not be a problem.
The key is
All
in the
right.
Tupperware.
The key. Hey, don't publicize it. I don't want like all like 15 of you in my house when I come home. Okay, so.
Yes, you totally do.
They'd have to find a Tupperware.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not that hard, trust me. All right.
Tupperware's secret code for rocks in the lawn.
Yeah, that's it. Oh gosh. All right, all right. So look, finally, I will get Tom to report on what's happening with the Boston Whaler. Actually, Eric, do you have a couple of notes? Have you spoken to Tom at all? Oh,
No, not at all. I saw him briefly down at the dock, but no
Okay.
updates. I went through, refueled it, checked everything out, had a little trouble starting it. Some nice volunteer, and I didn't catch his name, unfortunately, took it out to retrieve the mark, and it popped that fuse again. But he's smart enough to know how to change it. I
Mhm.
cleaned it real good, and it looks good. I did a good inspection of the boat itself. I don't know if anybody has the history behind it. It looks like there's a pretty rough repair job done at the bottom of the hull.
Yep.
Something that maybe we want to address when we do the bottom on it.
Yep.
I don't know what the history is on that. I put a new trailer wheel on the trailer, which is nice, super nice. Now it's coated around. What else? Bearing buddies, I haven't put them on yet, but it's ready to go. Hey, Chase boat's running good. We do need to do the oil change we've been talking about. I think maybe
Yep.
once we get done with this session, that'll be a nice little training session to do with folks. But the one thing I played with, and I don't know, it's gonna be an issue, is I can't seem to get the motor to tilt very well.
Okay.
The tilt mechanism, but we want to make sure the motor's out of the water if we do leave. The new business I got on the front corner.
All right. Good. Well, let's follow up
talk about it now.
on. Yeah. Let's Sorry. What did you say? Talk about now or later?
Well, it's up to you if you want to talk about it. So the idea of maybe a trawler.
Sorry, Eric. Can't hear
Yeah,
you there.
sorry, I'm in the grapevine here. I'm gonna mute.
Let's
Hit me
let's
up,
let's
towards the
follow up,
end, though.
okay? Yep, no worries.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with you about that later. All right, good. Okay, so look, super short one from me. First of all, thank you, Shelley, Small Boat Program member number one.
Woo! Yay.
I mean, seriously, thank you so much. Eric also, as I heard, has given
Totally prepped the
Girl a
boat.
good overview. Yep, you know that you have to like close that valve on the
Got
outboard.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, that's something for me to learn too. Thank
Yep.
you. So
Won't happen
sounds
again.
like we've got that. No, I mean, I didn't. It's my fault.
No,
You know.
no, and I will say that Chris and Chris's first mate, whose name I'm blanking on right now, because I said, can you guys walk me through fleshing out the engine? And they did, and they were super sweet, super supportive.
Great.
Scotty.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, so they were next to us cleaning up Chris's boat while we were cleaning up Isla Girl, and helped us, just double check all our setups, and yeah, they were great.
Great, great. So look, this kind of segues onto the next thing. We still do have some potential members. So Melissa Sackett has said that she's interested.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Shells?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. And then apart from that, I'm having a mental blank. Who else have we been out with recently?
Melanie Popper. Definitely
Melanie
wants to
Popper.
join, and she was supposed to come out with us last weekend, and couldn't make it. So I'm gonna, I'll keep pushing, and I think as long as we can keep, schedule some more training sessions, whether it's with you or somebody else in the club, that
Great.
has more experience than me, to make sure everybody's like on board. But once I can truly take over membership chair, I can totally pin small boat program.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's a reminder. I need to update the checkout calendar. It seems like I may not be able to make it for the next checkout date this month. So that's a little bit of a gap, but I'm really hoping that this is also an opportunity for us to go, okay, well, what's it going to look like for February and beyond?
Right.
Shelley, I think it'll be great if we eventually get you to the point where you're doing the checkouts as well. And
Sure.
then we can just start to scale up the program, because that's really the big bottleneck that we have right now is
Yeah,
having skippers who can teach other skippers.
yeah.
Great. Love it. Apart from that, as I mentioned, Shelley, it sounds like you're across memberships, which is awesome. We'll do some more formal swearing in once we've had our training, and just to make sure that you don't see the work and completely lose your mind at the breadth and scope of it, but I don't think that'll be the case. And so we can hand over the membership role to you, hopefully in February. I'll say TBA February.
Sounds good.
Great. There are a couple of other appointments that I've been asked to consider, namely cruising chair is one, and then also historian is another. To be honest with you, I'm not in a humongous hurry. I'm really waiting for really keen volunteers to step up and people who do have a lot of background with either the club or, of course, sailing, and a lot of time and enthusiasm towards it. What I've been explaining to people here is that it's just been so good, like having members here who have time to chip in and do something very specific. Not everything has to be a board position or a chair role necessarily to make this club run. That said, I probably should do a better job anyway of saying what chair positions are available. These are appointed by the Commodore, and we'll do them when we find good people to fit the roles, I reckon, and people that are interested in having their name on the board effectively like that. So TBA.
Ron, an idea?
Yep. Yeah, tell me. Eric?
Well,
Sorry?
maybe give the,
Yep.
oh no.
How's your reception going? Should we come back to it?
I don't know. I'm coming over the grapevine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can actually. Now we can.
Okay. Well, what I can say is call up the roles, cruise chair, what it means,
Yeah.
and then just send up the membership at large and say,
Yeah.
hey, who's interested in volunteering for X, Y, and Z?
Agree. Yeah, I mean, it's a twofold thing. First of all, there's actually the role, and the second is actually defining what that role does. I have to admit, I've struggled with, say, the role of historian. That hasn't been a chair position, but we've previously had a historian. What they do going forward as historian, my interest is doing the pamphlet, redoing the On My Watch pamphlet. That, just to explain, it's previously it's a pamphlet that was created to explain, just sort of tell the history of the different Commodores. So somebody like Janet may write a short piece about what Chris and Melissa did during their Commodoreship, and then eventually myself, when as the year develops. Now, that's not, again, it's one of those things where I don't think there has to be a formal appointment, but I think that the role has to be defined. One thing I think we've really struggled with in the past is going, oh, every chair needs to be filled, and then being like, well, what do we do? I know that in the past we've had a galley person when there hasn't actually been a galley, and that seems a little bit, if you don't actually have responsibilities, it's just a word, right? So I think we need to get past that first. I know that Melissa did a good job asking everybody to submit a job description last year. I don't know how comprehensively that was completed, but before, say, we go and say cruising chair, I'd like to actually have an idea of what the scope of that work will be. If it's a cruising chair, maybe we say it's going to be 4 events a year, but any which way, let's have that on paper before we start giving out titles. Eric, I would love your help with that too. I think it's super important. All right, so look, a bit of new business. Some of it is really just sort of kicking the can business, I have to admit. First of all, I don't have an update yet on the entire situation. I've been reaching out to Eileen. Eric, if you've heard anything from Eileen in the last few weeks, probably let us know.
No, I talked to her and nothing's available currently.
Right.
There's an end tie on the end of 7 where we did race stock.
Yeah.
A half an end tie there, but I think there's already a vote in that slip, but she knows. So she'll keep something open for us.
Yeah, I hope she was talking about something being available within the next 2 weeks around the end of December. I don't know what potentially changed there, but we just have to keep the pressure on. She hasn't been replying to my emails, unfortunately. So I think it would be probably best that we have somebody at the marina who can actually just, corner her and say, hey, look, this is still something we want. It's and not let it go away.
I did last time I was in there about 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Right around the first. And reaffirmed that that's what's going on. The challenge she's got right now is she's still shuffling boats from the whole giant move that took place. And I think the end tie that she was talking about for us, I still have the boat on her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I figured that was the case. Just to give everyone a bit of context here, why we want an end tie. So we have a permanent home for race committee and also a home for Island Girl as well. I think that it would be great to be able to park Island Girl and potentially the chase boat as well in the water. It would just take out a lot of the difficulty that we have with getting the chase boat in and out of the water, and also provide a really premium spot for Island Girl as well. It will cost money, so that will be something that when we eventually get a quote from Eileen, we'll make a motion around paying for that. And just as a bit of an indication, we're looking at about $480 a month. So it's not going to be cheap, but we're going to see if we can get that angle of being a yacht club and a community organization to knock down the price. All right, apart from that, unfortunately, we've had to postpone the storage container work party that was initially scheduled for Jan 22. I did have the sanity kicked into me that we perhaps should not have volunteers sharing the confines of a shipping container during the current pandemic situation we have. It'll be great also to make sure that we have dry weather. As a bit of context, the thing is about the storage container, we have a lot of stuff, capital S stuff from our old clubhouse. A lot of the stuff was put in there quite indiscriminately, but amongst it, we also have awards, which would be great. I've been told we have about $800 worth of racing awards in there. We've also had requests come in from past Commodores to get their pictures, which is kind of secondary, but a very nice thing to do. And we have a couple of trophies and memorabilia in there that I feel that should be preserved for the future. The things that are kind of like up in the air right now are what do we do with things like crockery and old galley bits and bobs. Eric, I know you mentioned that it could be a good thing to entrust the Boathouse Tavern with, seeing as they're considering, or they're in the process of bringing back food service. I'd be more than happy to do things like that, but just to put it out there, my opinion is that right now we're spending $100 a month on a storage container. If say we don't have a clubhouse for foreseeably the next 5 years, that's a lot of money to throw at keeping crockery. So my preference would be to get rid of as much as humanly possible and downsize to a smaller unit or a storage container, preferably locally, or maybe even somebody's garage, depending on how much stuff there is, and just give the club back that $100 a month, if possible, or at least pay a little bit less. All right, Eric?
A question on the awards you're talking about?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the little glasses or something else?
Yeah, the glasses. Chris Nicholas said that we have engraved glasses that are somewhere in the storage container.
That look like the beer can.
Yeah, it's like it should be like a cardboard box and a glass, and it says Island Yacht Club. I've got a few at home as samples, but it's somewhere in there. Esther, I'm sorry.
And we have no more of those.
No,
I
we do
think
not.
that those were ordered by David Ross a while back, and we had it in that container. Supposedly, I don't know for sure.
Yeah. So Chris has collaborated on that too. He says that they're in the container.
So let me ask you this. So we've done 3 series of races, and that's typically we give out for the race itself. Do we retroactively do that, or?
We can. So this was actually going to be the next point on the new business, was that I was planning, again, Omicron pending, to have a wholesale Island Days Awards party on Friday, April 1. Everything TBA. But I was hoping that we could capitalize on our friendship with Encinal Yacht Club and use their downstairs area and their front lawn and just make up for all that lost time. Because I know we kind of just sort of let things sit for midwinters. That seems to be du jour. A lot of people, like for instance, Berkeley Yacht Club, they never really have a big party or anything like that after their midwinters. However, I do feel like we should acknowledge the racers for the season and also take the opportunity to get people to meet each other by having a bit more of a crew list focused party. So I pushed that out to April 1, April Fools. It's one of those things that I'm going to start investigating in, when I get back, so February-ish. Island Day series wraps up in March, mid-March, if I remember correctly. Christina, you got that? So it'll be a few weeks after that. It's not going to coincide with the last race. I mean, effectively, we could have this party at any time. Cool. All right, so the final thing, so let's talk about that more, I think, in February. But the final comment was we did receive a member comment around Island Girl 2 racing. Not going to name any names, but it did come from a member, and we probably should just put it out there. So a bit of history on this. Around June last year, we had a board vote that we would not race Island Girl 2. The history behind that is that, actually, I'll put it out there, I was involved in an accident with Island Girl 1. I was at the helm, but I wasn't the skipper, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't the person who necessarily took out the boat. So, that led to one thing and another, and we decided that it was best not to race Island Girl at this time, especially after all the expense in getting a new boat, which is what happened inevitably. So, I do want to reiterate here that vote was made in June. I just want to put it like, just to canvass the room, or should I say canvass the board. Does anyone feel differently about that Island Girl decision? Is it something that we need to pursue at any point in time? Like, as in we need to reverse at some point in time.
I think it's something that could be discussed down the line.
Yeah.
And it's something that if we know that the skipper, is going to take full responsibility for racing her, because I think we've used Island Girl when we do WSS races, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so we have used it as a teaching boat, and I think it could be used as a teaching boat for races. Especially with volunteer crew and yeah, so I think it's something to be tabled. And I agree, like let's try and make up the funds that we've spent on Island Girl by recruiting more people to use her, making sure we understand the needs that the club has to put in to keep her running smoothly and maintaining before we say for sure this has to happen or for sure it doesn't have to happen. I'm all for putting it forward.
Thank you very much, Shelley. That's good to
2
hear.
cents.
Can I had Christina, she put up her hand first. Do you mind if I just let her comment first before you, Lloyd?
Of course.
Sorry, Christina.
Yeah, I was just going to agree with everything Shelley said, of course, because she knows Island Girl too, and she's way more involved in this program. But I think, and I was just going to say, I think it would be important if we did pursue that to have kind of a separate checkout for racing skippers versus cruising skippers. So people who know the racing rules and who are, aware of how to conduct themselves during a race, even though there is a different level of risk associated with racing versus cruising a boat. So anyway, I basically just wanted to back up what Shelley said.
That's great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Lloyd, willing to hear your take on this.
Racing I've seen on the estuary is pretty mellow, and I don't think there's a lot of risk of a lot of liability. And if it was part of the small boat program, and actually skippers could charter the boat, $20 a day, $40 a day, something like that for a race, that would help recover some of the over a long period of time, some of the money that's been put out. We don't have a racing series starting again until May. Yeah, I think it's May. One race in April. And so that gives some time to think about it and also some time to build up that small boat program. But they're not going to be up there competing with Hank for first place. So let's get some enthusiasm into it.
Yes.
Awesomely, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. So
I got a question for you, Shelley.
Yeah.
That might help frame it. Do you feel that not being able to take the boat is a detriment as our only member of the small boat program?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Eric?
Do you feel that us not allowing it to be raced is a detriment to you as a one member in our small boat program?
No, I think what the small boat program offers as far as like learning to commandeer a boat on the estuary under safe conditions and not playing bumper boats with experienced sailors is not a bad thing. I think that like, yeah, while I'm used to racing because I normally do race on Sachet or I race on Medusa in the estuary. And last weekend I thought I was going to be out of town, so I didn't race. Because of Omicron, my travel got canceled, and I ended up being able to take out Island Girl. You know, it's just a circumstance. But we were perfectly happy, and I have to say, Melissa Sackett was on the helm because she knows I get nervous with bumper boats, and we waited for the races to start. And it was actually a good practice for us to like keep away from the race start. I know the rules of racing enough to say, okay, let's like stay back, and we watched the race, and we kind of went behind everybody. And so I don't think it's a detriment to the program. I think with the program, we need to market the program because I think I think marketing that program is having probably IYC volunteers take people out on it, where people, you know, of my level that, you know, I haven't done my essays, but I'm on a lot of people's boats, where we feel comfortable on it, that we feel like we can take it out with another maybe experienced sailor like me and Melissa. Like we felt comfortable, but we also liked being out on like a light sail day and like, okay, let's get our bearings. And that we know we can take her out for, you know, the next couple months and feel super comfortable under different conditions. Hopefully a little bit more wind would be helpful. But I think that's the beauty of Island Girl is like from where I come from is like less experience, maybe still starting out, but still wanting maybe somebody with me to hold my hand and take that responsibility with me, whether it's Roz or like last weekend, I felt totally confident with Melissa because we've done some training together in WSS and stuff like that. So like, I think that's the balance. And I think IG2 is awesome for that. And I am totally ready to pimp that. But we also have to have the volunteers that are ready to put out, and I just saw Jill's comment. For me, $500 for a year to have a boat is, and maybe I come from a place of privilege, I will say that, but $500 to basically have a boat to take out is nothing compared to the skippers that I sail with and the amount of money I see them spend on the boats. I do not want to own a boat, and so for me, Island Girl is perfect. So, and it also it gives me a little more time at the helm when I'm with skippers that I trust and want to be at the helm, but it gives me a little more time and a little more confidence to sail. So I think it's a great program, but I definitely feel like it probably needs some more volunteers to step up to help members grow with it. But I think that there's a lot.
She's all yours.
So yeah. And I think some of the, like, I'm already thinking like, oh, there's some skippers from WSS that might be really good for this, like Maddie, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
right?
true.
Maddie doesn't
Oh
have
my
her
God, that'd be
boat.
so good.
She's a really good teacher, and she's a great
real?
racer. So like she would be perfect to teach IG2 racing. So, you know.
This is really good. So Charles, I think let's take this offline.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially considering you're going to be taking the small boat program forward in the future. We should really catch up with Maddie and just sort of put the word out there to some of the WSS instructors that this boat is there. We could even incentivize it by giving them boat time if they're willing to do instruction.
Absolutely.
I think that's worthwhile, but let's have a chat about that. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's really the issue we have now is just scaling the pool of skippers we have, members or no, we just need to take people out.
Totally.
Great.
Here's
So
something
look,
to
I
think
just want
about,
to,
Roz.
yep.
Here's something to think about just as a suggestion. We only have one member right now, so it really doesn't apply. But as the membership grows and they basically become the stewards of Island Girl, you know, maybe it's amongst the members that they decide if it's going to be used for racing. Because ultimately they will be the ones that repair it and maintain it. So it's a board decision now, obviously, to remain as such, but to allow the members of the group that actually basically own the boat for us to decide. I think that's something to think about.
That's really good, actually. So I think to myself that I want to put a pin in this for now. It's not something that we're going to turn into a motion right now. I feel that it'll be best that we get a few more members on board. So let's just say that once we hit the point where we have 3 IG2 members, we can bring this back up to discussion stage. How does that sound? And that most likely won't be for another, I don't know, I'm going to just put it out there, March. But I think we really do need a few more members, and then we can make an intelligent decision about this. All right, great. So let's keep rolling. I think we're almost there, guys. It's only 3 minutes to go. So I'm going to breeze through this very quickly. Most of this we've already discussed. We've got our virtual Tides and Currents coming up on February 7. On February 13, we have Island Days Race 4 out of 5, which is awesome. So that's super exciting. Hopefully more wind for you all. March 14, we're looking at our final weather event for weather, tides, and instrumentation. And by the way, I just want to note that it's probably going to take a few days, but we're going to make tickets for those sessions available very soon. Right now, we don't actually have them on sale, but that's something we're going to rectify soon. We have our spring crewless party, April 1, as I mentioned, and please be around for our next board meeting in a month, February 8, and it's going to be Tuesday again at 6 p.m. And then to be announced, the crab feed, as you've heard about, and the work party, which I hope to get an update on in the coming days from Tom. All right. So we've had a bit of member commentary, but does anybody want to put any last comments, questions, suggestions before we wrap up? Let me see, I'm just making sure that that's our last slide. We're all good?
When can we do a member dinner?
Oh, Chris, you should have turned up an hour ago.
I know, I missed it.
Welcome. I would say wait out for the minutes, but in short, we're working on the crab feed, and it's really Omicron dependent at this stage. But hopefully we'll have something in end of February, March.
Yeah, can do outdoors in my backyard anytime.
Sure. I'd say wait out for the minutes. We have discussed this quite extensively. Thank you.
Wait. Okay, sorry.
All right. Anything else?
Roz?
Yes, Lloyd.
I just want to say I miss having you around.
Sure.
Lloyd, I miss you too. I miss all of you, and especially you, Lloyd, but all of you, please. Seriously, if there's anything you can do about the US consulate,